Well, old number 47 is up to it again. What is it, you may ask?
That means everything.
I mean, virtually everything. Let's talk about it. Welcome to another edition of Free Mind Thinkers. I am the one and only, your main man, Big Brother Tucker. By my side, as usual, I have baby brother Frosty. Give him a what's up, Frost.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up?
Now, things have been happening politically. Things from the Oval Office have been coming out fast and furious.
Too fast, too furious.
And I don't mean that Vin Diesel thing where he's always talking about.
I got family.
No, I mean the orders and the execution of these orders have been coming out at such a record rate that the left doesn't have time to get upset about one thing before the next thing takes over the news cycle. So I'm going to pass the ball off to baby boy and let him tell y'all what's going on.
All right, everybody. This has been a very interesting time in history. The first week was grand. There was a lot that happened in the first week. It was hard to keep up. Sadly, we did suffer. There was two tragedies that did happen. The helicopter crash into the flight over in DC. Prayers goes out to the families of that tragedy. There's still a lot of information that's being dug up on that one. We'll find out more about it. And also to the family and the people who were involved in that. What was that other crash in Philadelphia? Yeah, it was Philadelphia. Shout out to them, for the families. It's a tough time for everybody involved. All right, on this second week and some maybe a couple of days adding, I could say this. This has been even more so than the first week. It feels like Trump's been in office for like a year.
One eternity later.
And so
Agreed. This has been the longest 2.5, almost 3 weeks of my life.
I can't believe it. Like, for example, they said it and they're doing it. He said, he made the promises in the campaign, and some of the stuff he promised, he did it first week.
Told you. I told you. I told you.
And more. It's like, okay, cool. And I know a lot of people are freaking out about the whole illegal immigration, people being deported.
Real
hey.
quick, I want to make a point just for a second, Frosty, to help you out. 16 days. He officially took the office 16 days ago.
Yeah. It's wild.
16 days ago, man.
Damn, that guy's fast.
We literally just started his second week yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday started his third week. Week 1 was the 20th. Week 2 was the 27th. And good God, this man is on a tear.
What I'm going to do is we're going to keep it brief, and because so many things to cover, I'm going to use our trusted, wonderful, most group of people, MSNBC. We're going to use their website for their information.
The bastion of truth and unbiased journalism.
Right. This is another thing that's going to be important to talk about is the pause on foreign aid agency, which is USAID spending, because there are some very interesting discrepancies on the things that they said they were spending money on, but we'll get to that. And another thing, which they got a lot of people on a certain side up in arms, I saying the government purged websites of certain things about climate change, certain LGBTQ LMNOP, especially I heard in some cases they have the LGB, but they don't have the TQ plus. So that's some places they said they just remove the extra letters.
That's interesting.
And then, he talked about putting some of the detain migrants that are keeping up in prisons here. We'll put them in Guantanamo, which, hey, it's fine with me. And they said they have room, which I did. I don't. I've never been to Guantanamo. I don't want to go to
Mhm.
Guantanamo.
I've never been here before.
But apparently they have enough space to put 30,000 people once it's outfitted. So I'm like, whoa, that's intriguing. So we'll see. Another thing, they sent 2 million federal workers an email offering to keep paying them through September if they resign now. Basically, it's a package. Basically saying, hey, look, yeah, we got a bunch of y'all people working for the government. It's too many y'all. It's how many? It's like 2-3 million people who work for the federal government. When he hit that order for people to return to work, some people don't want to return to work for various reasons. Fine, cool. We'll give you a package. We'll pay you out to the end of the basically almost most of the end of the year, and you go figure out what you want to do.
Get your shit, and get out!
I'm fine. I think they said 20,000 ish people have already taken that deal. Hey,
Mhm.
that's a start. Revoked the security detail and clearance of former Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley, which which I am totally for. I do not like that man.
Mark Milley should have been tried for. He should have been brought up on treason charges.
He should be tried on treason charges, if you ask me. I totally agree. You cannot talk to a foreign entity or China and say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a heads up if something go this way or that way," or just like that's not your job. You do not. You're not the president, sir.
and to
So
and to tell another foreign power, if something comes up against you, I will give you a heads up.
that's
That is
ridiculous.
treason against your nation. You should have been
I'm like,
tried.
dude, I'm glad they took his portrait down. Get this man out of here. To me, he should be stripped of his whatever.
So consider this your dishonorable discharge.
That's just never should even happen. That should have been like, hey, you should have talked to the president. Hey, look, I don't think this is a good idea, but never in your mind you should have went, hey, let me go talk to, my buddy over there in China. Let him know. We'll give you a heads up. Ridiculous.
You're nothing to me now. I don't want to know you or what you do.
Also, another thing, they launched a review to the federal prosecutors who use of obstruction of justice charge against the January 6th defendants, which the Supreme Court said was used too broadly.
Well, duh.
Yes, I think they should. Some of the people who were charged in January 6th it was overdone. It was extreme for certain people cases because some people didn't even commit there was no violence at all. And the book was thrown at them. They were in solitary confinement. They were held up. They didn't even get proper charges. Some people were just in limbo.
You bastard! They treated me like an animal, and that's what I became!
So, you know what? Those people who, the prosecutors, I think they should be investigated.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, the fact that he got rid of them, it shows it's a fine line, and I don't think it's. I'm not there. I know how I feel about it. It's a fine
Hmm.
line between people doing their jobs, doing what is tasked them to
Hmm.
do, and do you stand up for what's right?
Yeah, I think there's some people that were, quote unquote, doing their job with
Mhm.
the information that they had. And I think some people had other motives on there. Mainly, I think it's one of those situations, probably the upper chain, the chain, how did I say that? The word, the people on top, the people had on from on high was like, hey, do this, XYZ. Some of those people, mm, some people got a bone to pick. It's like there are some, what do you call that? People who are in these agencies who have their own prerogative. But hey, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Another thing, a show for public K through 12 schools to stop teaching radical gender ideology and CRT, which is critical race theory. Although it's unclear how the federal government will pursue this. I'm pretty sure what they're going to do once they get all the ducks in a row with all the confirmations, they'll probably go through with the Board of Education, Department of Education, and they'll probably start going over a few things, looking at funding and to the school, because if you're taking federal dollars, they have a little bit of a say so. But of course, they're going to challenge that in the courts, possibly. But we'll see. And another thing was towards the 10% tariff on Chinese products. And then, then it's, of course, Beijing, good old CCP. They were like, oh, yeah, you going to add more tariffs? We'll add more tariffs too. Okay, cool. We'll see. Let's see how this goes. And then this one was that happened last week. I think it was Friday, I believe, when Trump, or it was Friday or Saturday, when Trump ordered 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Okay, we're we're in a couple of days from when that happened, and we already saw the what happened with that. We know that Mexico and Canada they couldn't stand up to the heat, so they made some concessions. So
As we say in the hood, pressure bust pipes.
Oh man, that is way too much pressure!
and well, they'll say this right here. Okay, I'm gonna skip this part because okay, they'll talk about this part where Trump say he blamed the FAA for the plane crash, which I mentioned
Yeah,
earlier.
we
But
we
here's
we
a
go ahead.
I think that he was too quick to get to that part. But the thing that we did learn, there were some policies that for the FAA that was horrible. They were not like Trump did say in there where they weren't hiring the best people. They literally turned down thousands of applicants who had qualifications, but oh, you're white. I'm like, that I don't think we don't have any information to say that race or DEI had anything to do with the plane crash because that's still under investigation and see what happened. But the revelation of some of the policies with the FAA, it was brought to light also.
I very much concur. That was really a low moment for Trump,
Hmm.
a very Bush League maneuver. I did not like it at all. At the time, less than 24 hours
Yeah.
after people had lost their lives and families are still grieving, he he played a bit, not even a bit. I can't even sugarcoat it. He
Hmm.
played politics at the wrong time.
Yes.
That was the
I.
wrong time to discuss DEI hiring policies. It's the wrong
Hmm.
time to bring all that up,
Yeah.
especially when there was no clear cause of what caused it.
Yeah.
And with that said, he did expose a lot of poor hiring policies, the written policies on how the hiring process is now done in the FAA, where they literally do choose their employees based on sex, sexuality, race, and chosen
Hmm.
handicap over
Yeah.
whom is the most qualified to do the job.
Wow, that's crazy.
I just
Yeah.
believe that could have been done at
Oh
a
yeah.
much better
Absolutely.
time. So
Absolutely.
I just want to put that out there because a lot of people will say about us that, oh, I'm sorry, you know about it. We are sycophants.
Sycophants.
We are
I will.
sycophants.
I was like I said that could have came out like after they've went over all the flight recorders and
Mhm.
investigated into the ATC, more what's going on in FAA. I think at least a month or two, and after they've done more investigation versus right there on the spot. So yeah, I don't. I did not. I I also do not agree how he handled it.
You failed.
Right.
So this just came out. This part was this is going into his third week, where Trump mentioned about the Gaza Strip. But we'll get into that another time. That's a whole new can of worms. But this is something that I did find hilarious. About Trump joked about serving a third term. That was funny. That was fun because he was saying it as a joke. He was literally saying it as a joke, and he said it like right after. He said, "Man, they're gonna as soon as after I say this, they're gonna take this and say that oh he's serious. Oh man, he's gonna like come on, chill out." He's like,
Now
he's not trying to do all that.
he's not. I want to jump back up a touch. Even though it could be a whole video, it should be fairly addressed. So he suggested Jordan, Egypt, and other Arab nations accept more Palestinian
Mhm.
refugees in order to just clean out war-torn Gaza Strip. Wording criticized for sounding like ethnic cleansing.
Mhm.
Okay, you'll anything the man says you'll twist, but what he said was very true. He wants other people around there to do their share. It
Yeah.
is literally nothing more than what Israel has been begging for decades. Hey, help control this situation. Help control this population. Help me with these people.
Help me! Help me!
And Egypt has been telling Jerusalem for decades, if not centuries,
Fuck no!
because, and I mean this, they are terrorists. That is what
I
Egypt told Jerusalem. We're not
I
touching these crazy.
Language.
I thought that was something that was interesting that I found before. Like, wait a minute. I say, wait. 'Cause I always used to think like, oh, wait. Once I just looked at the geography, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. There's a border there of Egypt that
Mhm.
goes right next to there. I'm like, okay. They talk about, oh well, Israel closed the border. I'm like, okay, well, they could just go south.
Hell no. To the no, no, no.
Well, come to find out, Egypt they don't care like that. They don't want to be a part of it.
My problem, bro.
I'm like, oh, well, dang. So there's a lot of information I don't know because I don't live there and I don't know the history of all these things, and I still have a lot to learn. So if someone can drop a link or something that describes more of the history or knows more of the history, then fine, I'm willing to listen. So that's just a quick rundown on Trump's second week and a touch on his third. But I swear, this has been wild. And there's so much that's not included in this. But we can't have videos that run forever and a half. We got other stuff to go deeper into. All right, cool. We got another piece that have happened over this week as Marco Rubio was in the State Department doing his thing, traveling to different countries, especially in Mex. He hasn't been in Mexico yet, but he's been in what is that area called? Is it called Central America?
Yeah, Central America and Latin America, the Latin areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's been going to different places, and one of the places he went to is Panama. Well, we all know it's been a big buzz about Trump talking about, hey, we need to take back Panama. So one of his first stops was to talk to Panama. And what do we see here? What do we see here on this top of this headline? We got
If you would like to hear the rest of that, feel free to join us on our Rumble channel, still under Free Mind Thinkers. There you will find the full and unedited version of this video. Remember, until next time, to stand up, stand out, and think differently. Holla.